Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. I've been really busy work-wise again with low energy to do much around the farm. So, but I have got some knitting, so there is some stuff to be sharing this week, which is good. Firstly, to a little bit of farm stuff, I've noticed that the grass has started to grow, and that's because we are getting some warmer weather and we have actually had some rain, which is super great, but not a ton still. Today is really, really windy again. There's severe weather warnings for the wind, so you might actually hear that in the background. So we will have to watch out and do some checks for fences and things like that once the winds calm down. This is actually a really nice time of year with the daylight saving switching over, longer hours of sunlight, being able to get out sort of even early morning it's bright and in the evening it's bright. To either walk or check on animals or, just not have to sort of compact it all in before it gets dark and cold. I think I will be letting the sheep back into their little grass area here for a day or so over the weekend, just to give them a little grassy treat and then pop them back into their regular paddock, which is green, but it's only got very short amount of grass. Because I said the grass is starting to grow a bit more steadily now that we're getting a bit more warmth into the ground and also getting some rain. Though we really do need a lot more spring rain though. Business wise, I am mentally preparing for the market in Birregurra on the 19th of October. I haven't done a lot of other work on dyeing or anything. I did a few batches a week or so ago. That still needs to be rescanned and labelled, although I am going to have an issue with printing labels. Um, I had a whole lot of ants decide that they were going to take up residence in my printer. It was fine. I was printing and then the next, like, I think only like 4 or 5 days later, I came back to print again and it was just teeming with ants. Um, Luckily it's not near any of my yarn or anything like that. All of my yarn is kept securely in tubs and plastic and well away from the office part of my shed. But I just couldn't believe how many there were and that they were literally just taking up residence. I think with this change in the weather and it's a bit more moisture in the air, they were looking for somewhere dry and warm to shelter. I think I have enough sticky labels done for the batches that have already been uh, dyed up, but it'll go close. So I'll either have to. I think Seb has a printer in the house, so I should be able to use his, or send it to my work and do it there, just on the sly. Or, I mean, clearly I'm going to have to invest in another printer because now that I've sprayed it with bug spray, I doubt that it's going to be functional. For the Birregurra market, I will have some of my Christmas yarn available for purchase. I close the pre-order on the 14th of October. So whatever I've got dyed up at that point, I will start to bring to markets. And I will probably do a little more dyeing of it, but not a huge amount to have at the market in November and then the Christmas market in December. To go along with that, I have been working on a little secret side project. I have designed a Christmas ornament that has been 3D printed with a cute little sheep. It's the same on both sides, and it's about 7.5 centimeters wide. And I am going to have these available in limited numbers at my next 3 markets coming up as well. I've had fun with this, and now that I've done this one, I've already got some ideas for next year to create something a little bit different. But I am super happy with how this first one has come out. First of what I'm wearing this week, this is the Little Love, And this is in Fairfield Fins in a not a colorway that they had dyed. It was originally in the logwood colorway, which is a very light purple. But I found that the two skeins that I had were very different in the end. I bought them at two separate times. It definitely wasn't their fault. So I over dyed it, and I really love this dark purple that it turned into. It is a crop cardigan with mid-length sleeves and a sort of a short shawl kind of collar, and it's got a lace detail, sort of twisted stitch pattern all over. And it's really comfortable. I wore it to work last week, and I realized that it's an absolutely perfect fit, really comfortable, and I'm really happy to have this in my wardrobe. So to my projects, the first thing I'll share with you this week is the baby knitting that I've been doing. I still need to get the press studs to finish the baby sleeping bag, but apart from weaving in the ends, you can see it is now complete. I've sewn up the arms, I've sewn up this whole side seam, and I just need press studs along the band so that I can button it, and I'll probably sew it from about here down, and probably put press studs in along the bottom as well. So that is close to being done. I just need to make my way to Spotlight to get the final bits for this. And it is out of this Spotlight book. And I made it using the Pure Merino 8-ply 4 Seasons yarn in the hydrangea colorway. Is a light purple. Goodness, there's a bit of a theme going on. And the pomegranate was the dark color. And then I made an aviatrix using the pomegranate colorway. So this I made the smallest size, which I think is a 3 months. And this I made the second size, which is probably also about a 3 months. But it's very stretchy. It's got a lot of give this way and a lot of give this way because of the construction of the short rows. So you just make wedges of short rows and it rolls around on itself, which is really, really cute. I decided not to do the ties. I'm just going to do the ear flaps. And so I just need to weave in those ends, and I need to find a balloon so that I can block it and get it to sort of stay out a little bit. So that is the baby knitting probably done for this point in time. I might still do matching booties as well, and I need to do another version of everything for someone else at work who is now expecting. They're expecting a boy, and I do have one skein of this green, which I think would be quite nice. So I could make an aviatrix out of this easily, and maybe some booties. So maybe I will get on to doing that as well. I've made a little bit of progress on my winter song. I had finished the body shaping, which I had decided to do on my own, and I spoke about that in my last episode, one before, about doing some decreases and then some increases to give it a little bit of waist shaping. I think I'm now at the point where it is going to be sort of at my bust. You do some patterning, and then you do the shaping for not the shoulders, for the arms. So at the moment it is now split, so that because at the front there is a button band, so I'm now working flat, and I've just started in on the next bit of the cable pattern, and my brain has just not been in a place where I can sit and look at charts. There's 4 different charts that you need to combine together to do this repeat. And it's not super hard, and it's really clear in terms of how to do each of the crosses and everything. And it gives you ways to do it with or without a cable needle. So it's not that it's difficult, it's just that it takes a lot more concentration and I need to be in the right headspace. So I literally did this at the start of the week and then I put it down and I have not picked it back up again at all. But I started something new instead to scratch the itch for just some easier knitting. Oh, but I forgot to mention that this is out of Pirate Pearls in the My Lover's Eyes colorway in the Sky Sail base, which is a linen merino blend. It's a really, really pretty color. Um, I would love to say that I could get this finished for this season, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Um, I always get busy work wise and market wise at this time of year. So I think it will go on the back burner for a little while. And maybe it will be a really good summer holiday knit when I've got a lot more brain space to focus on it. So the thing I've spent most of my time on this week, knit wise, has been a new cast on. After wearing this, I was looking for another open cardigan. I was thinking long sleeves and I was thinking much longer because this is reasonably cropped. And I looked at a few different patterns and one was bottom up and I'm like, no, I don't really want to do that because I'd struggle with figuring out the length for that. And if I want it long, I'm either going to go too long or too short. And if I can try it on as I go, I can just, when I get to the length, I can stop. So I've actually decided to cast on the Long Love, which is part of the whole ebook of the Love cardigans. It is still a 4-ply, but it is just a longer version of this. But I'm not going to do the patterning. I'm just going to do it straight stockinette with the same collar. And I'm going to incorporate multiple colors of yarn. Because I was thinking, because my inspiration initially was from other patterns that were multiple colors. And as much as it's wearable to wear a solid hand-dyed yarn color, I find that I have been buying a lot of multicolored or have little bits of multicolored as well as single skeins of beautiful colors. And I wanted a way to be able to use some of that up that's been sitting in my stash. So I went through my stash and I found 4 skeins of sock yarn from Dizzy Devil Yarn, which came in this cute little bag as well. And it's a Geo Funk set. I bought this when I was on the Unwind cruise 2 years ago, maybe last year. I don't remember. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4 colors of like a purpley pink. So not enough of one color to do like a long cardigan, but I thought that I could incorporate them into sort of a radiant fade type of thing, but not just with these. My thought is, so I've started with the lightest color. I'm going to work through to the darkest color. I'll put a photo in that shows you these with the other colors that I'm looking to incorporate. So my plan is to knit to this underneath the arm in this, so that then I can do the start of the arm in this as well. And then I've got these 3 mini skeins, which I should be able to then marl through or fade through in between to move from one color to another. They will appear as stripes, but it'll give a better transition through to the next in the sequence. So I wonder if I can get it in order. So I think it's going to go this one, and then this one, and then this, and then this. Oh, is that right? Yeah, and then I don't. My hands aren't big enough. And then I'll put a picture. So using these little hand dyed skeins to progress through the colours. These are from Robin of Unwind, which is now a yarn store that's now closed, unfortunately. But she dyed these up, and these were part of a goodie bag from one of the cruises that I went on with them. So I'm going to use these as the transitional colours between the, excuse me, I dropped one on the ground, between these colours to create hopefully a really pretty long coat style of cardigan that I can kind of like throw on over the top of things. So I'm doing the second size of the Long Love, and I've already done the back section of the collar, and I've done the shoulders, and I'm now knitting flat to get the back armholes done, and then you pick up and do the same for the front to bring it down, and then you connect, and then you're joining, you make the hole for the sleeves, and then you continue to work flat. So instead of doing the patterning, I am just doing stockinette, and I did a garter ridge to break up the spot between the ribbing and the stockinette. In the original pattern, you can see, I don't know if you can actually see, that the ribbing flows into the twisted stitch pattern. So I thought it would be interesting to just put the garter in there. So I'm enjoying this much more mindless knit. I'm just keeping track of my rows so that I can do the same for the front, and it's just a row of knit and a row of purl, and that will be pretty much it for the entire garment. The only hard bit will be deciding when I transition into the different colors. As I said, I need to do the full sleeve so that it doesn't look strange when I go to do the sleeve down. And then what I'll do is transition not far after I've finished doing the sleeve into one of these multicolors, not that one, this one, so that I can then continue with the rest of the garment. But I am going to do a little bit of maths. Once I get to the armhole finished, I'm going to measure how much this is, and then work out then how much more of just a single color or the multicolor I need to do to get it to a length that I would like. So I know the minimum amount I'm going to do in this color, but I don't know the maximum amount yet. Hopefully it works out. Meanwhile, I'm just enjoying the knitting on this, and the color is just really light and pretty. And as you can see, I'm very much in theme colored clothes today. It wasn't intentional, but it's colors that I wear a lot and that I like. I decided that I wanted the light up near my face with this one, and it will transition down to the darker colors. So yeah, that's everything. I've been using Knit Companion to keep track of this project, and I use it to keep track of my aviatrix. I only have the basic version, but I am really considering paying the subscription for the full version. I don't know, I've often been a paper person, but this last little while I've had my iPad sitting in front of me, and then I've got the TV further along, so I'm kind of watching both at the same time, with my knitting on the iPad and just pressing the rows and everything to keep track. So have any of you used Knit Companion? Do you like it? Is it worth the money? Do you feel like you get value from it? I'm trialing it out to see if it's something that I will use, and I'm at the moment I'm using two patterns that I've already knit before, so I feel like I'm kind of familiar with them and kind of know what's going on. So I'm not sure if that is good or bad in terms of trying out using Knit Companion for it. But in terms of my winter song, it would be actually really good to use it to be able to combine all of the charts together instead of having them in the small little blocks on one page, but not in order of the way that they're knit. So if you've got any feedback for me on Knit Companion, that would be super helpful. Also, huge thanks for the positive feedback on my episode last week about the hot takes and tips for knitting socks. I'm really glad that you enjoyed that one as well. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you enjoy these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.